Hello students, welcome to my channel Hans Commerce Tutorial for the lectures on commerce, accounts, finance and management. My suggestion to you, before watching the video, please go to the description below my video. You'll find a link there. Take a printout of the problems given in the link and keep it ready before watching the video so that you can be able to understand the problem, the solution and the explanation to get the maximum benefit from the lectures. Thank you. Now we'll start problem number 11, sorry. The following is the balance sheet of Virendra Company Limited, 11th problem. As on 31st March, the liability side capital 20,000 shares of 10 each fully paid 2 lakh. Reserve fund 25,000, dividend equalization fund 20,000, P&L appropriation account 5,000, 6% debentures, sundry creditors. So out of these, only two outside liabilities are there, 6% debentures and sundry creditors. Whereas reserve fund, dividend equalization fund and P&L appropriation account or accumulated profits should be transferred to equity shareholders. Then land and building, plant and machinery, furniture, stock, debtors, bank assets are given of Virendra Company. The company is absorbed by Suresh Company Limited on the above date. Suresh Company is the transferee company, purchasing company. So this Suresh Company is acquiring, purchasing the business of Virendra Limited. The consideration for absorption is the discharge of debentures at a premium of 5% by the issue of 8% debentures in Suresh Company. See here, the debenture of Virendra Company are discharged by the issue of new debentures of Suresh at 5% premium. But payment to debenture holders will not be a part of PC. So this entry will be written only in the books of Suresh Company Limited. In Virendra Company, the debentures will be transferred to realization. It will be taken over by Suresh Company and Suresh Company will discharge their obligation. Now, taking over the liability in respect of sundry creditors, a payment of 8 rupees in cash and 1 share of rupees 5 in Suresh Company at the market rate of 8 rupees per share in exchange for 1 share in Virendra Company Limited. Just like the last two problems what we are doing. For every 1 share in Virendra Limited, Suresh Company agrees to give 1 share. 1:1 ratio. तो जितने shares Virendra Company में है, उतने ही shares Suresh Company देगा. Right? 1:1. Face value of the share 5 rupees है, but it is issued at an agreed price of 8 rupees, 3 rupees premium. Suresh Company Limited agrees to pay cost of liquidation 10,000. The liquidation expenses are also paid by Suresh Company, purchasing company. So the entry will not come in Virendra Company Limited. Past journal entries in the books of both the parties. Exactly same problem, no change at all. What we have done in the previous problem. 10th problem जो करे थे, 11th problem exactly same. Only name of the company is changed. So calculation of PC cash. For every 1 share in Virendra Company, 8 rupees cash. For 20,000 shares in Virendra Company, how much cash? तो 20,000 into 8, 1,60,000. एक शेयर के ऊपर 8 रुपए कैश, 20,000 शेयर्स है तो 20,000 into 8, 1,60,000 कैश हो गया. Equity shares in Suresh Company. Now purchasing company issues equity shares 1:1. For every 1 share in Virendra Company, 1 share in Suresh. For 20,000 shares in Virendra Company, 20,000 shares. So Suresh Company will issue 20,000 shares of 5 each at the agreed price of rupees 8 per share. 5 रुपए का शेयर है फेस वैल्यू, लेकिन 8 रुपए में इश्यू कर रहा हूं. 20,000 into 8, 1,60,000. तो PC we got 3,20,000. So we got the PC. Now we are required to pass the journal entries in the books of Virendra Company and Suresh Company. In a transferor company and transferee company. It's very, very simple. I think after doing all these problems, you got a good command on what type of problems will be asked in examination and what the accounting treatment in the books of transferor and transferee on amalgamation of companies. Now see, journal entries in the books of Virendra Company Limited, transferor. First entry, transfer all assets to realization at their book values. तो Virendra Company की balance sheet problem में दे दिया है, all the assets you transfer it to realization. Realization account data to land and building, to plant and machinery, to furniture, stock, debtors, bank, 4 lakh. Being the assets transferred to realization. Now liability side, two liabilities are there, debentures and creditors. So 6% debentures 1 lakh, creditors 50,000 to realization 1,50,000. Being the liabilities transferred to realization. Third entry will be PC due. Transferee company account data to realization. What is the name of the transferee company? Suresh. Suresh Company Limited account data to realization. Suresh Company Limited to realization. 3,20,000 being the PC due. अब PC receipt. अब PC receipt में जो चीज आ रही है उसको डेबिट करेंगे. Equity shares in Suresh Limited account data are 1,60,000. Bank account data are 1,60,000 to Suresh Company Limited 3,20,000 being the PC receipt. Remember, these four entries are compulsory there in every problem. Transfer the assets, transfer the liabilities, PC due and PC receipt. अब उसके बाद next entry, transfer the equity share capital and accumulated profits to equity share holders account. तो इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल को और एक्यूमुलेटेड प्रॉफिट्स को डेबिट करेंगे और इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स को क्रेडिट करेंगे. तो इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल अकाउंट डेटा 2 लाख, रिजर्व फंड अकाउंट डेटा 25,000, डिविडेंड इक्वलाइजेशन फंड अकाउंट डेटा 20,000, पीएनएल अप्रोप्रिएशन अकाउंट डेटा 5,000 टू इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स 2,50,000 being the equity capital and accumulated profits transferred to equity shareholders. Now we have to find out whether there is profit or loss on realization. अब कंपेयर करेंगे क्रेडिट और डेबिट को. रियलाइजेशन अकाउंट डेबिटेड 4 लाख, रियलाइजेशन अकाउंट क्रेडिटेड 1,50,000, हियर क्रेडिटेड 3,20,000. तो 4,70,000. You can see here 4,70,000 is on credit side, whereas debit side only 4 lakh. डेबिट साइड पे ओनली 4 लाख है और क्रेडिट साइड के ऊपर 4,70,000. क्रेडिट साइड इज मोर, सो देयर इज प्रॉफिट ऑन रियलाइजेशन. Entry will be realization account data to equity shareholders account 70,000. Here, realization account data to equity shareholders 70,000 being the profit on realization. Now, lastly, the account of equity shareholders account will be closed. So, equity shareholders account data 3,20,000 to equity shares in Suresh Company to bank. जो PC आया था, that PC we hand it over to the equity shareholders, will distribute to equity shareholders. So equity shareholders account data to equity shares in Suresh Limited to bank 1,60,000, 1,60,000 being the account of equity shareholders settled. That's all. These are the entries in the books of Virendra Company, Transferor. Now we'll pass the entries in the books of Suresh Company, Transferee. The first entry, as usual, business purchase account data to liquidator of Virendra Company, 3,20,000 being the business purchased and PC due. Now, second entry pass करते वक्त, we don't know whether there is goodwill or capital reserve, right? तो first you write on goodwill account data. अगर आया तो balancing figure लेंगे, नहीं आया तो dash डालेंगे. Then debit all assets taken over. ये जितने भी assets हैं, ये पूरे assets take over कर लिए, सबको debit करेंगे. All the assets will be debited. And the liabilities will be created. Two liabilities are taken over, debentures and creditors. Two creditors, two debentures. Two business purchase. First entry में business purchase debit करें, second entry में purchase business purchase credit. Now again, if you find the total, credit side total is more, debit side total is less. So we are getting balancing figure goodwill. तो goodwill उतना ही आता जितना profit on realization. How much is the profit on realization here? 70,000. If you take the total credit side में से debit के पूरे items minus कर दो, you will get 70,000 balancing figure. तो goodwill account data 70,000 balancing figure being the assets and liabilities taken over. Next entry will be PC paid. Suresh Company will pay the PC to Virendra, liquidator of Virendra Limited. तो liquidator of Virendra Limited account data 3,20,000 to share capital. 20,000 shares it is issuing, each share face value 5 rupees. So 20,000 into 5, 1 lakh rupees. And security premium is there. 5 रुपये का शेयर 8 रुपये में इश्यू करा, 3 rupees प्रीमियम है. तो 20,000 into 3, 60,000 will be the security premium. And to bank 1,60,000 being the PC paid, purchase consideration paid. Not debentures. It is given in the problem that Suresh Company will discharge the debentures of Virendra Company at 5% premium. 5% premium and give their own debentures carrying 8% interest. तो पहले वीरेंद्र कंपनी के पास 6% इंटरेस्ट डिबेंचर्स थे. अब सुरेश कंपनी बोल रही है वो डिबेंचर्स को कैंसिल कर देंगे, हमारे डिबेंचर्स सुरेश कंपनी के डिबेंचर्स इश्यू करेंगे, उसके ऊपर रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट 8% होगा और 5% प्रीमियम पर. तो जो प्रीमियम पे कर रहा है दैट विल बी डेबिटेड टू गुडविल अकाउंट. तो वी क्लोज द अकाउंट ऑफ डिबेंचर्स. So 6% debentures. Here it is not 8%, it is 6% debentures. तो वीरेंद्र कंपनी में जो डिबेंचर्स थे वो 6% डिबेंचर्स, तो 6% डिबेंचर्स इन वीरेंद्र कंपनी अकाउंट डेट आर 1 लाख, गुडविल अकाउंट डेट आर 5000, देन टू 8% डिबेंचर्स 1,05,000। अब ये 8% डिबेंचर्स सुरेश कंपनी के हैं, अपने डिबेंचर्स 1,05,000 रुपीस के। Being the debentures of Virendra company discharged by the issue of 8% debentures of Suresh company at 5% premium. Last entry, liquidation expenses. It is given in the problem that liquidation expenses are paid by purchasing company, by Suresh Limited. जब सुरेश लिमिटेड पे कर रहा तो ये एंट्री सुरेश के बुक्स में आएगा। एंट्री गुडविल अकाउंट डेटा टू बैंक 10,000, being the liquidation expenses paid. So this is the completion of problem number 11. Now we'll start problem number 12. See the 12th problem. On 30th June 1998, AB Limited and BC Limited decided to amalgamate and to start a new company, ABC Company Limited. So two transferor companies, AB Limited and BC Limited. Both the companies are liquidated and a new company is formed, ABC Limited, to take over the business of AB Limited and BC Limited. Now, on that date, the balance sheets of the two companies are as follows. So, AB Limited की balance sheet 5 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 each, 50 lakh. Bills payable 5 lakh. Workmen compensation fund 2 lakh. Sundry creditors 10 lakh. Reserve fund P&L account. So out of these liabilities, only two are outside liability, bills payable and sundry creditors. Remaining are capital and accumulated profits. So asset side, goodwill, land and building, plant and machinery, stock, debtors, bank, that's all. This is the balance sheet of AB Limited. Now balance sheet of BC Limited, 3 lakh equity shares of 10 each fully paid, 30 lakh. Bank overdraft, sundry creditors, bills payable, dividend equalization fund, reserve fund and P&L account. We are having three outside liability, that is bank overdraft, sundry creditors and bills payable. Remaining are accumulated profits. Goodwill, land and building, plant and machinery, patent and trademark, stock, debtors, bills receivable, cash. These are the assets. Show how the payment is made to each company. How the payment is made to each company. The payment which is made is called purchase consideration. Payment जो करते हैं उसको कहते हैं purchase consideration. So it is asking you to calculate the PC and prepare the balance sheet of ABC Company Limited after amalgamation. See here, in this problem it is asking you to calculate the purchase consideration payable to AB Limited and BC Limited. So new company, ABC Company Limited, the new company will issue only equity shares. Because it's a new company, it cannot pay cash. It will issue only equity shares. So we have to apply net assets method. We apply net assets method to find out the purchase consideration. Now see here. Calculation of PC. Assets. All the assets of AB Limited and BC Limited. We have opened two columns, AB Limited, BC Limited. We have taken all the assets given in the balance sheets of both the companies. Balance sheets of both the companies. Here patents and trademarks are given only for BC Limited. And bills receivable are also given only for BC Limited. We don't have bills receivable in AB Limited and patent and trademark in AB Limited. Remaining all the other assets are having in both the companies. We have taken the total. 90 lakh is the total asset of AB Limited and 80 lakh is the total asset of BC Limited. From this, we subtract the outside liability. The outside liability are three: bills payable, sundry creditors and bank overdraft. Bills payable, sundry creditors and bank overdraft. So bills payable and sundry creditors are there for both the companies, but bank OD is given only for BC company. Right? The total of the liability is 15 lakh, 20 lakh. Now subtract. Assets minus outside liability will get the PC. Assets are 90 lakh. Outside liability 15 lakh. So 90 minus 15, 75 lakh. This 75 lakh is the net worth of the business of the company. And that net worth is nothing but the purchase consideration. Similarly, BC Limited 80 lakh assets, 20 lakh liability, 60 lakh is the net worth, that is the PC. So PC of AB company 75 lakh, PC of purchase consideration BC Limited 60 lakh. तो combine दोनों को अगर मिला लेंगे 75 lakh plus 60 lakh ये मिला दिए तो total PC that will be paid by ABC company. to both the vendor companies. The first part completed, it is asking you to calculate the PC. We have calculated the PC. Secondly, it is asking you to show the balance sheet of ABC company after merger. After taking over AB Limited and BC Limited, what is the new balance sheet in the books of ABC company? The balance sheet of ABC company limited, particulars, equity and liability, shareholders fund, share capital, reserves and surplus. 1, 2. Non-current liabilities are not there. Then current liability, trade payable, short-term loans, total. So these are total of liabilities. Assets, non-current assets, fixed assets, tangible, intangible, current asset, inventory, trade receivable, cash and cash equivalent. The blank balance sheet you make, don't take the amounts. Then in notes, we will find out the amounts for each and every item. First one, share capital. 13,50,000 shares. 1 crore 35 lakh. If you add up both, 75 lakh plus 60 lakh. 75 lakh plus 60 lakh. If you add up both the PC, you will get 1 crore 35 lakh. So 1 crore 35 lakh divided by 10, 13 lakh 50,000. So 13 lakh 50,000 equity share of 10 is fully paid, 1 crore 35 lakh. The above shares are issued for consideration other than cash. ये नई कंपनी है ABC, इसीलिए only shares issue कर रही है. तो this 1 crore 35 lakh will be taken in the balance sheet. New company is there, that's why no reserves and surplus. कोई reserves and surplus नहीं है. Then trade payable. Trade payable consists of trade creditors and bills payable. दोनों कंपनी के creditors ऐड कर दो, दोनों कंपनी के bills payable ऐड कर दो, 30 lakh. Then short term loans. Short term loans में लेंगे bank overdraft. Only in BC company we have bank overdraft. That will be taken over by ABC company. तो short term loan में bank overdraft लेंगे. Tangible assets. अब tangible assets में दो लेंगे, land and building, plant and machinery. Land and building, plant and machinery, both दोनों कंपनी के ऐड कर दो, 89 lakh 50,000. Intangible assets में will take the goodwill. Goodwill of both the companies, 10 lakh plus 8 lakh, 18 lakh. Patents are there in BC company. So 5 lakh 25,000, दोनों को ऐड करो, 23 lakh 25,000 is the intangible asset here. Next, inventories, stock, add up both the stocks. Then trade receivable. Trade receivable consists of debtors and bills receivable. दोनों को ऐड कर लिया तो trade receivable होता, right? Then cash and cash equivalent, cash balance, bank balance, दोनों को ऐड कर लो, you take the amounts here. The total is 1 crore 70 lakh. That is the total of the balance sheet, assets as well as liabilities. That's all. This is the complete balance sheet of the new company ABC Limited. Previous last 2-3 problems we were doing the entries, journal entry. Now in this problem it is not asking you journal entry, it is asking you how to calculate the PC and show the opening balance sheet in the new company. In the new company, transferee company, we have to show the balance sheet. That's it. So we have completed problem number 12. Now we'll start problem number 13. The assets of the National Steel Company Limited are purchased by Hindustan Iron and Steel Company Limited. So the assets of National Steel Company. So National Steel Company NSC, this is the vendor company, transferor company, and Hindustan Iron and Steel Company is the purchaser. So it is a transferee company, and it is given that assets are taken over. Assets are taken over का मतलब ये हुआ कि the liabilities are not taken over. The liabilities of NSC should be paid by themselves. NSC कंपनी खुद, नेशनल स्टील कंपनी खुद पे करने ना अपनी liabilities को, खाली assets purchase करने का agreement होगा. Then the purchase consideration was as follows. A payment in cash of rupees 90 for every share in National Steel Company Limited. For every one share in NSC, rupees 90 cash will be paid by Hindustan. Then an exchange of 4 shares of Hindustan Iron and Steel Company Limited of rupees 75 each at the market price of 140 each for every share in National Steel Company. For every one share in National Steel Company, Hindustan Limited will agree to give 4 shares. So ratio 1:4 का हो गया. For every one share in National, 4 shares in Hindustan. The face value of each share is 75 rupees, but it is issued at a market price of 140 rupees. Discharge of debentures at a premium of 10% by the issue of 10% debentures in Hindustan Iron and Steel Company. जो नेशनल स्टील कंपनी के जो डिबेंचर्स है, वो डिबेंचर्स को 10% प्रीमियम पर अपने ओन डिबेंचर्स दे रहा है. फॉर एग्जांपल नेशनल स्टील कंपनी में डिबेंचर 6,50,000 है. नेशनल स्टील कंपनी में डिबेंचर 6,50,000 है. वो 6,50,000 के ऊपर 10% और ऐड कर देंगे. दैट मच ऑफ डिबेंचर्स विल बी इश्यूड बाय हिंदुस्तान आयरन एंड स्टील. But debentures will not be taken while calculating purchase consideration. The balance sheet of National Steel Company stood as follows: 6,000 shares of rupees 500 each, 30 lakh. 1,308% debenture of rupees 500 each, 6,50,000. Sundry creditors, Workmen's Saving Bank, Insurance Fund, Reserve Fund, P&L account. This Insurance Fund, Reserve Fund and P&L account, ये तीनों भी accumulated profits हैं. ये तो shareholders को चले जाएंगे. लेकिन वर्कमैन सेविंग बैंक एंड सन्ड्री क्रेडिटर्स एंड वर्कमैन सेविंग बैंक अकाउंट, ये दोनों आउटसाइड लायबिलिटीज है. बट इट इज गिवन इन द प्रॉब्लम दैट हिंदुस्तान लिमिटेड इज नॉट गोइंग टू टेक ओवर द लायबिलिटीज, इट इज गोइंग टू टेक ओवर ओनली एसेट्स. तो फिर ये दो लायबिलिटीज जो सन्ड्री क्रेडिटर और वर्कमैन सेविंग बैंक अकाउंट है, ये दोनों को एनएससी खुद पे करना. नेशनल स्टील कंपनी शुड पे these two liabilities. Assets, all the assets are taken over by Hindustan. Land and building, plant and machinery, furniture, fatigue, patent, work in progress, stock in trade, sundry debtors, cash. Make the necessary closing and opening entries in the journal of purchased and purchasing company respectively. Closing and opening entries. Closing entries will be passed in National Steel, vendor company, transferor company, and opening entry will be passed in Hindustan Iron and Steel Company. That is a transferee company. But before making the journal entries, first we calculate the PC. Calculation of purchase consideration. Equity shares in Hindustan Iron and Steel Company. For every one share in NSC, National Steel Company, 4 shares in Hindustan Iron and Steel Company. For 6,000 shares, in the problem you can see the liability side of National Steel Company, 6,000 shares are there. For 6,000 shares, how many shares will be issued? So 6,000 divided by 1 into 4, you will get 24,000. So 24,000 shares will be issued by Hindustan Limited. The face value of share, each share is 75, but it is issued at an agreed price of 140. 140 में इश्यू कर रहे हैं, तो 24,000 into 140, 33,60,000 is the value of shares issued by Hindustan to National. Cash. For every one share in National Steel Company, Hindustan has agreed to pay cash 90 rupees. एक शेयर के ऊपर 90 rupees. How many shares are there? 6,000 shares are there in National. तो 6,000 how much? तो 6,000 by 1 into 90, 5,40,000. तो 5,40,000 cash and 33,60,000 shares. The total PC is 39 lakh. This is the calculation of PC. Now we pass the journal entries in the books of the National Steel Company, Transferor Company and Transferor. First, journal entries in the books of National Steel Company Limited, Transferor Company. Already so many problems we have done. I hope students has become acquainted about all the journal entries in the books of the Transferor and Transferor. अब इतने सारे प्रॉब्लम्स करने के बाद आप लोग तो परफेक्ट हो गए होंगे जर्नल एंट्रीज के ऊपर, क्योंकि ईच एंड एवरी प्रॉब्लम अगेन एंड अगेन आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग so that you can be able to remember for a longer period of time. Now, realization account data to land and building, to plant and machinery, to furniture and fitting. Land and building, plant and machinery, furniture and fitting, patents, work in progress, stock, debtors, cash. Balance sheet दे दिया नेशनल स्टील की, तो नेशनल स्टील की बैलेंस शीट में क्रेडिट साइड पे जितने एसेट्स है सारे एसेट्स क्रेडिट कर देंगे. All the assets are taken over. The total is 45 lakh, being the assets transferred to realization. Now liabilities. In the problem it is given that assets are taken over. इसका मतलब होता है liabilities are not taken over, except one liability is there, that is debentures. क्योंकि specifically दे दिया कि debentures के ऊपर they are issuing their own debentures, तो debentures are taking it over. तो debentures 8% debentures account to realization, being the liability transfer. Now Hindustan Iron and Steel Company to realization, PCD. Third entry PCD. तो ट्रांसफरी कंपनी अकाउंट डेटा टू रियलाइजेशन, हिंदुस्तान लिमिटेड अकाउंट डेटा टू रियलाइजेशन 39 लाख बीइंग द पीसी ड्यू. अब पीसी रिसीव्ड, पैसे आ गए, तो पीसी जब आ गया है तो क्या क्या चीजें हैं, इक्विटी शेयर्स आ रहे हैं और कैश आ रहा है. तो इक्विटी शेयर्स इन हिंदुस्तान लिमिटेड अकाउंट डेटा 33,60,000, Bank account data 5,40,000 to Hindustan Limited 39 lakh being the PC receipt. So first 4 entries completed. Now fifth entry will be sundry creditors account data 2,50,000, workmen saving bank account data 2 lakh to bank 4,50,000. Now see here, two liabilities are there, but these liabilities are not taken over by Hindustan Limited. So these two liabilities should be paid by National Steel Company itself. So that's why bank account is created. They are having the bank balance because in PC they are getting 5,40,000. Purchase consideration they are getting 5,40,000. From that 5,40,000 they are paying the liability to bank 4,50,000. Being the liabilities which are not taken over by purchasing company now paid off. This is the first time we are coming across this point. Previous problem mein all the liabilities were taken over. This is the first problem where liabilities are not taken over. That's why it is paid by National Steel. So being the liability which are not taken over by purchasing company now paid off. Now transfer equity capital and accumulated profits to equity shareholders. So equity share capital account data 30 lakh, insurance fund account data 65,000, reserve fund account data 2,75,000, P&L account data 60,000. To equity shareholders account 34 lakh. Being the equity capital and accumulated profits transferred to equity shareholders. Now realization के ऊपर profit है या loss है मालूम करना. By seeing these three entries we can be able to find out. The second entry, realization account is credited by 6,50,000. Here realization account is credited by 39 lakh. So 39 lakh plus 6,50,000, 45,50,000. तो 45,50,000 on credit side. देखिए 6,50,000 plus 39 lakh ये दोनों भी realization को credit कर रहे हैं. Both these amounts are credited to realization account. So credit side of realization account we are getting 45,50,000. Debit side we are having 45 lakh. That means credit side is more. How much? 50,000. 50,000 rupees ज़्यादा है. 50,000 rupees more on credit side. So this 50,000 rupees is the profit on realization. So entry will be realization account data to equity shareholders account. Realization account data to equity shareholders account 50,000 being the profit on realization. Last and final entry, settlement of equity shareholders account. Settlement of equity shareholders account. So equity shareholders account data to equity shares in Hindustan Limited to bank. जो पीसी आया था वो पीसी हम हैंडओवर कर देंगे, ट्रांसफर कर देंगे इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स. तो इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स अकाउंट का 34,50,000 टू इक्विटी शेयर्स इन हिंदुस्तान लिमिटेड 33,60,000 टू बैंक 90,000. अब बोलेंगे 90,000 कैसा आया? एक्चुअली पीसी इन द पीसी वी आर गेटिंग 5,40,000. पीसी में जो पैसे आए वो 5,40,000 आए, लेकिन वो 5,40,000 में से 4,50,000 आर पेड फॉर द लायबिलिटी. 4,50,000 बैंक को क्रेडिट कर दी. ये बैंक को डेबिट करे 5,40,000 या बैंक को क्रेडिट करे 4,50,000. तो 90,000 रुपीज आर रिमेनिंग इन द बैंक. 5,40,000 minus 4,50,000. So that 90,000 we are paying to equity shareholders, being the account of equity shareholders closed. That's all. These are the closing entries in the books of National Steel Company. Now it is asking you to pass the opening entries in Hindustan Iron and Steel Company, Transferee Company. First entry as usual, business purchase account data to liquidator of National Steel Company, 39 lakhs. That is the business purchased and PC due. Second entry will debit all assets, credit all liabilities. Assets and liabilities taken out. So first of all, we'll write down goodwill account data, balancing figure. We don't know whether we'll get goodwill or capital reserve. तो खाली balancing figure लिखकर छोड़ देंगे. Land building account data, plant and machinery, furniture fitting, patents, work in progress, stock, debtors, cash. ये पूरे assets जो purchase कर लिया, transfer कर दिए, उसको डेबिट करेंगे. All the assets taken over will be debited, and all liabilities. Liability में एक ही liability है, debentures. Debentures ले लिया तो to 8% debentures 6,50,000. To business purchase 39 lakhs. अब ये क्रेडिट साइड पे 39 लाख प्लस 6,50,000 तो 45,50,000 हो गए. ये डेबिट साइड ये पूरे आइटम 45 लाख. तो बैलेंसिंग फिगर कितना आ गया 50,000. तो गुडविल बैलेंसिंग फिगर 50,000 being the assets and liabilities taken. और पॉइंट याद रखो कि the profit on realization which we get here, the same goodwill we get in transferee's books. Next, settlement, transfer of debentures. It is given in the problem that debentures of National Steel Company will be discharged at 10% by issuing 10% debentures of Hindustan Iron and Steel Company. Actually, यहाँ National Steel Company के जो debentures थे, that will carry interest at 8%. 8%. लेकिन हिंदुस्तान लिमिटेड ये कह रहा है कि पुराने डिबेंचर्स जो 8% के डिबेंचर्स थे उसको 10% और प्रीमियम पर हम नए डिबेंचर्स इश्यू करेंगे जिसके ऊपर 10% रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट. तो ओल्ड 8% डिबेंचर्स विल बी कैंसल्ड एंड न्यू 10% डिबेंचर्स विल बी इश्यूड. तो 8% डिबेंचर्स ऑफ नेशनल स्टील कंपनी 6,50,000 यहां क्रेडिट करे थे जब आए, तो अब उसको कैंसिल कर दिया, डेबिट कर दिया, ये क्लोज हो गया. लेकिन इसके ऊपर 10% प्रीमियम. अब हिंदुस्तान आयरन स्टील कंपनी बोल रहा और 10% प्रीमियम देंगे उसके ऊपर. तो 6,50,000 का 10% 65,000, तो 65,000. तो ये किसको डेबिट करेंगे? गुडविल. When premium is given by purchasing company, it will debit the goodwill account. Already in previous problem also we come across. तो goodwill account it are 65,000 to 10% debentures 7,50,000. 7,15,000. दोनों को ऐड कर लो. तो पुराने जो डिबेंचर होल्डर्स थे वो लोग को 6,50,000 का इन्वेस्टमेंट था, वो कैंसिल करके नई कंपनी 7,15,000 के नए डिबेंचर्स देगी और उसके ऊपर 10% इंटरेस्ट. Being the old debentures cancelled and new debentures issued. Now last one, PC paid, purchase consideration paid, liquidator of National Steel Company Limited account debtor 39 lakhs, 39 lakh rupees PC दे दिया. अब ये PC में equity shares, to equity share capital, how many shares are issued? 24,000. And the face value of each share is 75 rupees. So 24,000 into 75, 18 lakh. Actually 75 rupees का share 140 rupees में issue करें, यहाँ पर लिखा हुआ agreed. 75 each at an agreed price of 140. तो 140 minus 75, 65. तो एक share के ऊपर 65 rupees premium है. तो that will be transferred to security premium account. Security premium account 24,000 into 65, 15 lakh 60,000. To bank, cash is paid 5,40,000. 5,40,000. Being the PC paid. So this is the end of problem number 13.